Okay, should we start? I'll use my... Hello? Yeah? You alright? Okay, I've got mine. The purpose of this meeting is a feedback meeting to the annual town meeting that was held on the 20th of May 2024. Because there were no town councillors, because the mayor or the deputy mayor didn't turn up to that meeting, a member of the public had to be elected to be the chair of the meeting. I got that position. Does anybody want to chair this meeting? Sure? Okay. So I guess if I say a show of hands, you'll vote me to do it. Okay. Has everybody got a copy of the... So these are the draft minutes for the annual town meeting. We haven't really got an agenda for today, but then just go through the questions. So is everybody happy we do that? Okay, so why we... This is just... Is there a reason why we chair a meeting? This is because it's not the annual town meeting. It's not a town council meeting. It's just a meeting of residents. It's the last meeting. Was everybody here at the last meeting? Yeah.
If you was at the last meeting, you'll remember that one of the proposals was we would meet in 8 weeks' time, and the clerk will come back from the council with the answers to those 32 questions. Within 2 weeks, the meeting was cancelled. They cancelled it because they said they'd already done their annual council public meeting. So the first thing on my list is, well, I don't think they have, but they put in, if you remember, the councillors were sat there and they didn't identify themselves till halfway through the meeting, which is their prerogative, but don't then call it a council meeting, because we didn't have anything from the council at all. So to me, we still haven't had that.
So I would say they were advised not to come, and if they did come, they were to sit at the back and shut up.
I mean, again, what's the point of that? So what we'll do, we'll hand this out, and then if you want to speak, use this one. So that's why we're doing it here, because rather than not having any meeting, we thought, well, at least we can feed back the answers, and it keeps the momentum going a little bit, doesn't it?
Okay, so the last meeting was the annual town meeting for the residents of Heanor Loscoe. And we had 31 questions asked, and we've been given the responses in draft by the town council. So, shall I suggest we just go through each of these responses, and then maybe people might have some observations. So what we're not going to do is we're not going to be taking minutes of the meeting, but Alan's kindly recording this. I thought what we perhaps should do is, when Alan's posted this on YouTube, we just make the town council aware that this meeting is available for them to watch. So they can dial up at their own time and listen, so they can see our responses to the questions. Is that... Yeah.
You know, as we're going through these questions, we've asked if you've got any observations or questions you want to go back with about. Because if that was your question, or even if it wasn't a question, if you're not satisfied with the answer, then obviously say it at that point, and then we can note it, you know, that you want a response to another question. Because my question personally is not I'm happy with that response, so obviously I want to go back and say I'm happy. So if we do it as we go along, then otherwise we'll get to end up playing out.
Yeah, we'll do question by question then. So the first question posed was, the mayor has been elected for the East Midlands, why do we not get to elect our own town mayor? So there's a response there saying, obviously there are two different types of mayor. So the recent election was for the East Midlands. Is it East Midlands Metro Mayor? Sounds familiar? East Midlands Metro Mayor. So that's a different type of mayor. And basically their response is the Local Government Act 1972 sets out how the town council appoints its mayor. Sorry.
The official title.
Do you want to... Scarlett, do you mind being our again mic person?
Can you hear me?
I feel like a quiz.
The official title for the new mayor of the East Midlands is a C40 mayor. C40.
C40.
Research
C40.
it, research it.
Okay, C40.
Google that and you'll be terrified what you find out.
Okay, so we don't get to elect our own town mayor, but we do get to elect our 21 town councillors. So I think it's also worth pointing out, some of you, depending on where you live, will be getting your ballot cards through the post, or getting your postal votes through, because there are 3 town councillor vacancies.
There's 2 up for by-election on the 8th of August, and there'll be another one when the letters are received for Heanor Loscoe, because Trevor Holmes has resigned on Friday.
Okay, so we've got 3 town councillors who've stepped down now, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah, and they'll be filled soon. So the mayor is elected out of those 21 by those 21. So the only way you get to elect, well, you don't get to elect the town mayor directly, it's indirectly.
Can I say it's only the majority councillors that get to decide that? The 7 reform councillors didn't get
Yeah.
a chance to.
Okay.
Where's the mic on?
She's going through it. Do you want it again?
I'll point out if I say anybody down. Yeah.
It's too late.
I just want to make sure, because the last meeting, nobody could hear anything. The acoustics were really bad in here, and we have paid £8,000 for this system out of the council budget, so we need to use it, because it's not fair if people cannot hear and it's not good enough, is it? So is everyone I don't need a mic. So is everyone, can everybody hear? Just make sure you tell us if you can't, because it's looking worse, isn't it?
Is there anybody struggling to hear at the moment when we use microphones? No, so acoustics are better, great. Question 2 was about attendance of town councillors at meetings. Where can I find this information? And the answer is on the minutes of the meeting. So if you go on to Heanor Loscoe Town Council's website, you just Google Heanor Loscoe Town Council, you go onto the website and at the top you'll see a little tab, I think it says minutes. Minutes and agendas, I think it says. You click on that and it brings it up and you can see at the start of the meeting minutes who attended that meeting. I think the person who asked that question from memory, I don't know if that person's here, but I think it was more about having an annual set of stats, so you could see that councillor blogs attended 75% of the time or 100% of the time. Question 3, can the public...
Just on that, they have agreed to do a spreadsheet, haven't they? I'm sure it says that.
Response noted.
No, they've not agreed to that. So the suggestion was we think a simple spreadsheet would do the job.
Well, to me, noted is that that's how we're going to do it, hopefully. So,
The response is noted, so I think hopefully if the town council are watching this, we can encourage them to do that, because I think people are supportive of that idea.
we've got to have the minutes on. We don't have the minutes till months later that's on the website. They're always very late with the minutes. So we could do without having the minutes in the time frame that we're meant to have the minutes in. Just
Okay.
to remember that.
Can the public here, this was question number 3, can the public here, so that was a meeting back in May, have a vote of no confidence in the town mayor and the town councillors at this meeting? And the response of that was no, the meeting does not have that power. So the power you've got essentially is in the ballot box.
Is that just no to the meeting, or we don't have the power at all?
No, you don't have the power. No, the meeting does not have that power. So the only way you can have a vote of no confidence in the town councillors is in the ballot box, or you can contact them. You've got your town councillors, you can contact them, and you can also go to any town council meeting, which is normally on the first Thursday of the month.
There is only 3 public meetings now between now and March.
Now in March, there's only 3 public meetings.
Well, they're not, council meetings, not public council meetings.
Do you know when they are?
I don't. I know September is the next one.
Well, I propose that we say, because obviously at the annual public meeting, there's it's not in the rules that we can propose that, but at some point there will be, in some meeting, in some clause, in some rule, that is something that you can do. So if we want to do that, we can look into that, and we can ask the council it's all in the rules, when that point, when there is a suitable point to do that, if people want to do that. So people can do that individually, or we do that on the rules for that.
Happy with?
Does anybody want to ask that again? Go back with it, or are you happy to just, anybody else want to ask that or get some more information on that?
I'm sorry, ask what?
If you just, just
Sorry.
clarify.
So,
Clarify what you're asking.
so the answer to the question was, so somebody said, can we have a vote of no confidence in the mayor? So obviously they said they couldn't because at that meeting there was nothing in the rules that allowed us to do that.
No.
Maria. So we're just saying if people want to do that, obviously it is in the rules somewhere, there is such a thing. So we can try and find that out. But obviously people can do that individually as well. So we're just asking whether people want to do that. So Maria, sorry.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Reaction.
The fourth question that was asked was about, a gentleman, I think he was sat here at the front, asked about suspension of the 1A bus service. He said it's affecting residents and needs to be reinstated. So the response we've had from that is the question will be raised with Derbyshire County Council and the service provider. So I think that's a good response. And I think we'll be pleased to hear back from the Town Council when they've had their response from Derbyshire County Council. Some councils up and down the country do run their own minibuses, so maybe that's one thing the Town Council could look at when they're allocating their budgets next January, perhaps. Who would think that's a good idea? I think it's a good idea, so I suggested it. But
I also think it's a good idea if people can do that.
Is the estate down off Midland Road down Newlands Drive, they have no bus service, they've had no bus service for years. There's pensioners' bungalows down there, and I know personally that some of them struggle to get out, so they're socially isolated, which in turn creates all the other problems, which then takes money from the council budgets, and it's just an escalation. And if they've got some transport and be able to get out, then that would help the town itself and help the people.
They funded a bus service from Heanor Town to Derby County for the match. So I think that we can probably say, if that's a one-off, it might be nice to use that bit of the budget at least to try and get something like that, because that was £3 that was.
Can I just ask? I would say
just wait for the mic, because we're doing the recording, so put your hand up and you'll get the mic.
I don't know if it's on their strategic plan. They've got a 4-year plan, and I wondered if it was on there or anything to do with that. But if not, on the town councils. If it's not, maybe that's not the thing that you need to broach, is actually if you could actually put it on a strategic plan, even if it's 4 years down the road, they might actually have an opportunity to look at it in a structured way.
We'll try, but
I think that's a good idea. I think one thing the Town Council does do, and I know this from previously being in Town Council, the Town Councillors that are here will know this, that every January they agree what's called the precept, and the precept is effectively their share of the council tax. And this current year it's £281,409. So in January, the town councillors are going to be looking at how they divvy up that £281,000, albeit they'll mostly be a percentage increase. They'll be looking at how they divvy that up. Is there a feeling in this room that if we get to January, the 1A bus service hasn't been reinstated, maybe the town council approach somebody like Trent Barton and say, on a Friday, could we maybe have a happy bus that goes down the 1A route and targets these areas where we know people are struggling to get into town, are socially isolated. Maybe it only needs to run on a Friday morning, maybe it needs to be one run whip round. Doesn't have to be the quickest bus service in the world, but basically people could put themselves on a list. They could do a mop round. if you're first on the bus, you're going to be chatting for a long time, and then you get taken up to the marketplace, stop there, and then picked up maybe a couple of hours later.
Well, it helps footfall as well from the market, so it helps.
So would that be a good idea that we put forward to the Town Council via this recording, that if it's not solved, maybe in January they could look at a budget allocation for a happy bus?
I don't think it is in the plan, though.
No,
I'm not saying that.
Which is the 1A?
Sorry, which is the one?
Which is the 1A? Is that the one that this lady here was talking about? I don't know where it goes.
The 1A goes
Oh,
Hansford. So where does it go from to from?
Ripley to Aldica back to Ripley.
But coming through Heanor.
Marple, all off. the
So
main
is it,
road.
it's not the 1A that we want reinstating, it's a different kind of route that we're looking at.
It'd be nice to have a couple, wouldn't it, I think?
The 1A would be nice to have back, the children need to go to school as well.
She's Mike.
The children also used it going to and from school as well, so I don't understand how you would make it.
Okay,
No need of it.
Rob, is this a question about the bus?
Yeah.
Wait for the mic. Wait for the mic.
If you look at the response to the question,
Yes.
it says the question to be raised. It doesn't say it has been raised.
Okay, so by...
We don't know if it has or not.
Okay, so what we need to do is, I'm looking at the camera now, hopefully the members of the Town Council are listening. So there's a feeling that there is an issue with bus services. If they don't get this reinstated by Derbyshire County Council or their service provider, are we asking that they look into actually funding something through Trent Park? So get Trent Parton to do it. It only has to be on it just needs to be once a week, doesn't it? Possibly. Well, it depends how much it costs then. Well, maybe they need to get to go and have a look at how much it would cost.
I think probably a Tuesday and Friday would be the best outcome. Or ask for as much as you can to get rid of it.
Sorry, I can't. So you think you do on a Thursday? Yeah. Sure, it's Thursday, it's Extension Day.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
And then Maria, you said, what did you say, Maria?
Ideally, it would be good for a Tuesday and a Friday, I think.
Yeah, I think at least a couple.
But if we need to ask for the
What-
maximum to get them rid of
So
it.
Tuesday and Friday is an idea, but at the moment there isn't anything. So as a minimum, sorry,
Right, they're about to, well, at the moment, the 33 and the 34 don't run every day, and there's the first ones that Trent Parton are cancelling. Now, they go Cromford Road and all the way around there. So not only have we lost the 1A, but the 33 and the 34, which go from Ilkeston to Hucknall, which is also, there's quite a few people that were in Heanor that go to Hucknall Academy to do sports. They're missing college because they can't go. So again, a lot of people are talking about pensioners, but these kids have got to get qualifications at some point. So it's not just the 1A. The 33 and the 34, they're potentially going to pull because they're not getting enough money and it's not sustainable. So
It all was looking at them, really.
Yeah.
All the local bus routes want looking at them.
So they need to make sure at least 3 times a day, the 33 and the 34 are running, because that's also people trying to get from Heanor to Ilkeston. Because they're getting rid of so many local college places, as we know, because now we've got no Derby College in Heanor. So people are having to travel to Ilkeston, having to travel to Hucknall, but they're not going to be able to soon. So at the moment, we're getting rid of these places for kids, and they haven't got the choice on education.
Would it be yeah.
If we had another one of these meetings, would it not be sensible for us to actually invite Trent Barton here and talk to them directly?
Well, we've tried to get the council to do it, yeah, because I mean, really, as residents, I take your point, and it would be lovely, but what we're trying to say is, as residents, we want the council to raise our issues, and that's why we voted them in.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Right,
just
so
to
tell you what,
be proactive, that's the thing.
let me put it a different way then. So if hypothetically, if we were all town councillors and we were sat around the table in January looking at how we divvy up the budget, would you say you would be comfortable putting £24,000 a year aside to providing additional bus services? Would you think that's
As long as it's sustainable.
as long as it is actually a
Well, it's not sustainable, that's why bus services get shut down.
Exactly, but then is it a money pit?
Yeah,
Is it going to be money pit?
but there's other town councils around the country who've done things like these buses because of the bigger picture about the fact that you've got people suffering in social isolation. And bus services are, technically, they're not, a lot of them aren't sustainable. That's why a lot of them get cut, don't they? Because they've got to make, so it's subsidised. But would you also think, if there was an additional bus service, say the town council bus service basically mopped up all these little gaps, do people think they would be willing to pay for that as well, as way of a bus fare as well, or not?
I don't think it's the fare, is it, that's the problem? People want it.
It's the accessibility.
Yeah.
Derbyshire County Council has a fleet of minibuses that are used for pensioners and everything else to get to different locations. Half the time the buses are empty, can't we use that to do it? To create a little bus routes?
I think that's a good idea.
We can ask.
Well, maybe there needs to be more advertising to use those budgets as well, though. People aren't going on and they're not going to use them. Yeah, the trouble is they've got a big hole in their budget as well, Dom, down to 60 million. But
I'm also thinking about there used to be Amber Valley CVS, and there used to be a bus service from Amber Valley CVS regularly and all over the place around Heanor, and I don't know where that's gone, or where that's if there's actually any way we're able to sort of access that. I don't know.
Well, I think it's one for the town council to take away. I think what they're hearing is this is something of concern to local residents.
I think you should go on there.
So should we just, are we agreeing with what the town council to actually look into this?
Yeah.
Alex, you've got your hand up. Do you want to wait for the mic?
Hi. Just had a reply back from Trent Bowman. They said they're going to get the chief executive to contact me regarding all the costing, so we can put that forward to the council.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So you can tick that you raised it now then, going to call them.
Yeah, well, Derbyshire County Council will come back to me themselves.
Alex, you're on town council. Could you get this put as an agenda item?
Yeah.
For discussion?
Yeah.
With a view to them allocating some money in January
Yeah.
for this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Number 5. Can the town council please use social media to publicise meetings? The response is, meetings are advertised on the town council's website and noticeable to comply with law. So I think the response to that is no. I think we should just ask again. I think town council meetings should be publicised on social media.
Does everyone sit on together? Yeah, precisely.
It's just like we're not bothered, we're not interested in what you think. This is what we do, and that's all it is.
So
You don't matter.
So what about we ask again via the video recording of this meeting that they publicise town council meetings on all social media channels? Well, whichever they are. Facebook, Instagram.
You publicise other things. They have got a Facebook site, and I think this is kind of the future. I mean, everybody uses it, and also, if you have a look, this is a prime example. The annual meeting that there's been 4 people turned up to for the last 2 years and no questions asked, they are publicised in other towns. It's quite an event, and we have not known anything about it because they've been hidden, and I stand by that. The start of the town council meetings, which nobody used to go to. Thankfully, people are starting to go now, which is what we want. But that's why we got 71 people here last time, because it's at a separate place and we publicised it. We've done leaflets, we've done social media, we've talked to people. We didn't have to do that. That is part of the council. And they didn't turn up, so like I say, we want our town council meeting, because we haven't had it. But I don't see why we can't, there's no reason we can't publicise it. And I want a proper reason. So if you're going to give us a proper reason, then fair enough. But to just say, no, we don't have to, well, I think it's corrective.
Well, the town council are active on social media, so I think we should just repeat the request. Can they use social media to publicise meetings as a minimum Facebook and Instagram?